Well, hello, OG Nation and Organo family from around the globe. This is Casey Nilsen Martin. I'm calling in tonight or zooming in tonight from my office in Loveland. Super excited to be with each and every one of you. Welcome to tonight's Conversations on Success, the platform that we share together every week, learning from people that are out there in the field, leaders and people that are working on their development, going out and growing large businesses, really carrying the torch of Organo and this incredible ecosystem that has evolved so beautifully over the last year. And I have the honor of sharing with you this evening. I have the honor of contributing value, and my goal tonight is that you get something actionable out of tonight's call, something that you can apply within the next minute or two after the call is over, and some of you within the next couple days, the next couple of weeks, but some what I would call actionable intel, right? So we're gonna get started on tonight's call. We're gonna talk about events, and then I'm gonna kind of recap a book that I read that I believe has a lot of value in it, and there are things that we can tie into our business, our personal life, our relationships, and kind of that whole picture of wellness for growing a great Organo business. I'd like to say thank you for giving your time today, for investing your time in working on yourself and putting yourself first for this hour to get the information and the nuggets that help you move forward towards living the life of your dreams. And I'd like to say as well that I'm super proud of each and every one of you for taking that time, carving out the time on a Sunday. Some of you will be listening to the recording. Congratulations to you as well for putting your dreams first and for staying the course in believing. It's so important. You know, I think about my life and my life especially over the last 10 years and what a beautiful journey it's been. There's been incredible ups and there's been some challenging lows, but the adventure and journey of Organo has added so much value to my life. And I think about, you know, who I might have ended up being and what I might have ended up never contributing to the world if not for Organo and the growth that it brings out, because this business is incredible. This business is life-changing. It's worth every single moment of joy and belief and every single moment of doubt and struggle. And I'm so excited because I have felt a shift. And the business is always amazing. And you'll always find me super positive about it, super excited about it. You'll always find me in front of the room, in front of people, delivering the information, sharing the product, sharing the passion. But I can feel this shift as things evolve. You know, sometimes there's this motion where we feel like we're moving in place. And, you know, there's been a little bit of an evolution over the last year here in Organo, and I can feel that shift over just the last, 30, 45 days, especially that shift of moving forward. There's this energy and momentum, and this is something that you want to get swept up in. And as we are creating the momentum to go to that next wave and that next level. And it's important to remember that we can't coast uphill. So as we go through some of the details on tonight's call, I really want you to pay attention to why you are doing Organo. Why are you here? What is your purpose for building this business? Are you looking to get out of debt? Are you looking to travel and create the freedom where you can go actually experience the world? Are you looking to create the type of financial freedom where you can upgrade your lifestyle, your home, what you drive, the quality of the food that you eat, and upgrade those levels? Are you looking for contribution? Are you looking for retirement? Whatever it is, I want you to associate a whole lot of pleasure with accomplishing those things. And we're not going to talk about visualization tonight. We're not going to talk about goal setting tonight. That's for another call. But we've had an incredible platform of people who have taken the time and the energy out of their schedules and their days. Dr. Bob Rakowski, Miss Alice Naganga, and the team from Africa, and so many others, Miss Deanna Nilsen, and people from all around the world who are giving up their time to add value to your life. And so we want to make sure that we take advantage of that by putting into action the things that we learn. And I could never pay it back to Organo, all of the valuable things that being involved in this company with these amazing people and this amazing product line, I can never pay back the value it's given to my life, but what I can do is pay it forward. And we continue to pay that forward. And one of the ways we do that is by plugging into Conversations on Success. So let's talk about OG, Organo. OMG, it's that good. That's what I think every time I sip a cup of coffee. Right now, I'm drinking out of my Thoughts Become Things, Choose the Good One mug. I'm having a red tea, an OG red tea, and I'm powered by some spores in my psyllium that I popped right before the call. So super excited to be with you guys, and OMG, it's that good. I know that's the response a lot of our customers get. I know that's how most of you feel when you're drinking your coffee, when you're participating in the business, when your check is dropping and you're seeing it drops in the bank and you're like, wow, I see the result of the success and the contribution and the work and the belief, but it's getting better. It's getting gooder and gooder. And one of the ways that we are going to really just launch the evolution of this organo ecosystem is at the Unite event, the convention that's here for North America. Now, I know we have people from all around the globe that are going to be participating in their Unite events. These are regional events all around the globe, in Europe, in Asia. I know we've got Bon and Min and the whole group out there in Thailand and Surinda in Laos, and all these amazing people doing amazing things in Asia. We have the Latin America event and the event in Africa. There's so many wonderful things happening and so many places available for you to get access to information and for you to make sure you're promoting these events to your people and to your prospects, because you want them to get access to the highest quality information. And there's something that happens at events. Whenever multiple people are gathered, and there's many religious texts, there's many philosophical texts throughout history and throughout ancient history that talk about the power of community and people coming together and what we can actually create more together. And there's something beautiful and special that happens at events. You know, this is why people will go to the Super Bowl. It's an event, and they'll pay $5, $6, $7, $8, sometimes $10,000, $15,000 a ticket for a one-day event just for entertainment. Now, I'm all about entertainment. Go, have fun, do your thing. But this is an event that's not only entertaining, not only is it inspiring and motivating, but you're going to learn so much about yourself, about your business, about your products, about your future. And this is really how you take control of your why, the things that you want in this business. Because you can't think your way into that feeling that you get at an event. You know, I'll give you a prime example. New Diamond, Miss Diane Solano, and the whole Toronto team. I had the extreme pleasure of flying out and doing an event, collaborating with Diane and Sachin and Dr. Bob and so many of the incredible leaders and Brian and so many others. It was just a wonderful event. And for those of you who heard the story about how I got out there, they think that I contributed, and I love that because I love making sure that I add value when I go somewhere. But I got so much more out of those few days in Toronto. I feel like I kind of did them a disservice because I left with so much energy and so much belief and so much motivation. And that's why, even though I had a 24-hour delay at the airport, I got a call from Dr. Bob and Diane. My flight, we got up in the air, we were rerouted, we lost computers, we made an emergency landing back in Denver. And I got a call. I'm about an hour away from my house at the airport. I get a call, and Dr. Bob's like, listen, I know being at the airport 24 hours before you can actually get out here, you're going to be here for 2 or 3 hours worth of sleep, and then we have the event starting. It's totally up to you. If you'd like to go home, we can Zoom you in. And I know Diane was cringing because she was like, no, I don't want to Zoom in. It's not the same, right? And I can remember just sitting with myself for a second. And to be honest with you, I wanted to go home. I got the comfort of my own bed. You know, you go to any of the venues at the airport and a bottle of water is like $8. I was like, I could be home in an hour. I could Zoom in tomorrow, be from the comfort of my own home, have a couple of free days since I already have this set aside in my schedule. But I sat with myself for a minute and I let Dr. Bob and Diane know, no, I'm coming. Whenever there's a challenge, whenever there's something keeping us from something, I know the reward of pushing through that is so much bigger and so much better. So even though it was super inconvenient, I went to Toronto, and my goodness, you think you know, okay, they're excited, so I'll be excited. Okay, they believe, so I'll believe. Okay, they're telling the same stories that I've heard, or maybe a new story here or there, and it'll be fine, and I get it, and you think it's gonna be the same. But the reality is, you as this being, you as this person, you have to be there to experience it, where you let the energy of the experience, the emotions, the connection. You know, they can measure human connection now. We have incredible scientific advancements that can actually measure what connecting with community can do for your brainwaves, what it can do for your immune system, what it can do for your belief, your mindset, and so many amazing things. And I can promise you, I would not be the same person I am today if I had not actually physically gone to that event in Toronto to experience the love, the community, the commitment, the belief. And as much as I knew before I got there, I knew that would happen, but it's not the same as going there and experiencing it and then bringing that energy back, because the universe communicates in frequency. Everything is energy, it's frequency. That's why you say, oh, I don't, you know, having a good day. Oh, I don't feel good, or I feel great. How's your day today? Oh, I feel great. It's a feeling, right? And I believe that's the same way about events, and corporate events, whether they're small events in your area, whether they're medium-sized events in your region, or whether you have a corporately sponsored event that's going to be absolutely incredible. And guys, there have been a lot, and I mean a lot of things going on in the background. Some of them I know about, some of them I don't even know about, but you look at all of these amazing advancements and vision that Organo has put together, and our leadership with Paul and the team, and Edward and Christelle, and our logistics department, and our finance department, and our management department, and all these departments that are working, the marketing and branding department, and all of these people that are working together on your behalf. And guess what? They're going to explode some announcements and explanations and things at the Unite convention. It is so imperative for your dreams that you go, because people who don't go don't believe as big, and people who believe big build big. People who believe big earn big, and people who don't go to the event can't get the same belief because they don't have the experience of that event. And so I want you to know, I know it's inconvenient. Trust me, I know it's inconvenient. You know, just like it was inconvenient to wait at the airport for 24 hours, but I got so inspired. And people are like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere to get inspired. Trust me, what you can do inspired is shocking. You can shock the world with what you're capable of if you're inspired, if you're full of this heartfelt conviction of belief that you can live your dreams, you can have the life that you want, and all of that is at Unite. And you've got to build your belief. If you're struggling with doubt right now, you need to be at Unite. If you're full of belief and excited, you need to be at Unite. If you're brand new and you don't know anything and you're like, I'm so excited, but I need more information, you need to be at Unite. If you're a veteran like me and you've been here for 10 years and you need to make sure you're not just going through the motions, but you're building, locking arms with all these incredible leaders from around the world, then you need to be at Unite. The details are at unite.organogold.com. Be registered at the host hotel, because there's actually going to be a welcome reception party. This is something we've never done before. This used to be exclusively for leaders. And what I love about Organo is they recognize when they do things right and they're working, and they recognize when they're doing things that aren't working, and they make corrections. And what we realize is we don't want this just exclusive group of people. We want this welcoming environment where people can come together and learn and grow, because every single one of us has something of value to contribute to the Organo ecosystem. And so if you're registered at the host hotel from 6 to 7 on Friday, there's going to be a get together. Basically what this means is there's a giant party. It's a chance for you to get to meet people, get to know people from around the world. How valuable would it be if you have contacts in another part of the country to meet leaders that are building in those parts of the country, and to make connections and to pick their brain and to learn and grow and create this sense of community. See, when we look at the humanity and how we've survived for thousands of years, you go back through history, we survived in communities. Matter of fact, to be outcast from a community or a pod of people, you know, no matter which tribe you were with, to be outcast was literally a death sentence. It was considered impossible to survive on your own between the weather and the animals and all the, you know, warring tribes and all this other stuff. So biologically, we are wired to need community for survival. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Your dreams, your goals, the desires that you have, you need community for them to survive. And the reason you need that is because maybe you have a spouse that's not supportive. Maybe you have a spouse that's super negative. Maybe your children are poking fun at you for doing your own business, and they think it's, haha, that's her thing, that's his thing, good luck, and they're not saying it in a nice way. Maybe you have some coworkers who think you've lost your mind. Maybe your parents are saying, those things don't work. They're for other people. That kind of dream is for those special people, not for us. And what happens is we're bombarded with the consciousness of people who are so stuck. There's a gentleman, Rich DeVos, he was the co-founder of Amway, and he is famous for saying that the easiest thing to find on God's green earth is people who will tell you all the things you can't do. But if you don't have a community of information, of people to plug into, where the support, the encouragement, the learning, the growth, where you're contributing value also, those dreams become a lot more difficult. And unfortunately, without that community, historically, I've seen people talk themselves out of winning, right? We can talk ourselves into any number of things, but without community, I've seen people actually talk themselves out of winning, out of living life of their dreams, out of the greatest gift. I feel like I won the lottery. Deanna Nilsen was talking about Jeff Roberti last week, and he used to pick people up for meetings when he'd pick up a guest, and this man's made over $100 million in the network marketing space. And he used to pick guests up, and he'd be like, oh my God, I'm so excited you're with me. I won the lottery. And they'd be like, you won the lottery? Seriously? And he's like, yeah, I won the lottery. Someone introduced me to network marketing, and we get to take advantage of the free enterprise system and sell something we're passionate about and that we believe in, and sell the dream. We get to sell hope. I feel like I won the lottery. And here's the thing, guys. For the first time at a major corporate sponsored event at Unite, there's actually going to be a business presentation. So I know some of you are going out early to do Disney World or Disneyland, whichever one's down in Florida. You're going to go out there a couple days early and experience the beach and all of those amazing things. And you're going to meet people. You're going to talk to them about coffee. You're going to talk to them about Organo. Or maybe you're already thinking, oh my God, I'm not from Florida. I'm from Tennessee. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm from California. I'm from Arizona. I'm from Montana. But I know people in Orlando or in Florida or in Tampa, and I know they would love to come to the presentation. You can actually invite them to a presentation. They can try the coffee. They can try the products. They can try the skincare. And then we're going to host a brief opportunity presentation. And guess what? You're actually going to be able to grow your business and get people enrolled. And we're also going to have a raffle. So this is really fun because it's just a fun piece that Organo doesn't have to do, but they're doing. And they did this, I would say, what's this, 2019? I would say 2012 maybe is the year we did this the last time. And I literally we had a gentleman on our team. He was excited and he loved the products, but he was like, I'm new. Do I really want to pay to go to an event? And then he found out we were doing a giveaway. And he's like, you know what? I do want to go because I just know I'm going to win something. So he comes down to this event, brand new, maybe 1,300 in volume. He comes to the event and he's like, oh my God, it's like a party where you're learning. It's awesome. He had a lot of fun, and he actually ended up winning the TV in the raffle. In the giveaway, he won the TV. Well, he was so excited about the TV. He came home and he's telling all, like, gosh, I went to this event. I learned so much about making a difference and being positive, and I learned these business tips and techniques that I can apply in Organo, but also in my traditional business. And you know what? He actually went Sapphire within the next 2 months because he was just so excited. So this raffle is just Organo's way of saying, we see you, we appreciate you. We know it's a sacrifice of your time, of your energy, of your money, of getting somebody to watch the kids, to watch the dog, to water the plants, all of those things. Some of you are going to come by plane. Some of you will come by vehicle, and it's a long drive. Some of you are going to sleep 7, 8, 9 people to a room. I've done that. My very first event in Jamaica, we actually, a group of us got together. We had 6 girls sharing one room. We had to push the beds together because they were 2 little beds, and we slept sideways like sardines. One girl was like, I can't take this, and she actually went and slept in the bathtub. I remember the second event we went to, we're just believing in the dream, and we're reinvesting in our business, and literally we couldn't afford to go out to eat. It was not in the budget. So I can remember my mom cleaning off the ironing board in the hotel room, and she double layered a towel, a clean towel from the maid, on top of the ironing board, and that was our countertop to make sandwiches. And we made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We went to the store, we had bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and that's all we ate all weekend. That was a fun experience at an event, because when you pay a price to get somewhere, you get more value out of it, and the price of your ticket, it doesn't even pay for your chair. and the air conditioning you'll receive while you're there for 2 days. The information itself is priceless. And so what's really exciting about some of the things that's happening at the event, they're going to give away Samsonite luggage, an iPad. They're going to give away a Apple smartwatch and the Apple earbuds and an Apple TV and so many other cool things, but you got to be there to experience. Events, it's one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. Imagine a carpenter never using a hammer. Like, that would be crazy. Well, you're an organo distributor. You're an organo wealth warrior. You're an organo health enthusiast. You're an organo travel freak. You're just like, yes, I love it all. Well, imagine if you had one of the most powerful tools at your disposal and you never used it. You'd be pretty limited in what you were able to accomplish. Events are about learning. You grow your skills. You develop relationships that become so valuable. You know, I remember this time last year, according to my Facebook, this time last year, I was in China with Dr. Lee. I was on the ground in China touching the Ganoderma as it's growing out of the ground. I can feel the mud underneath my fingernails. I can smell the moisture of the cleanest air, because most people think China like big city. I'm talking you're in the middle of this massive rainforest as the Wuyi Mountains and the water runoff and drip off is growing these beautiful plants with the most vibrant red color. And I can remember Stephen, Deanna, Dwayne, Anna Kleinsasser, Ricardo, and Celine. I can remember just this feeling of awe. It was reverence. Like, I can't believe we're here. There's nothing that can replace that experience. And I'm like, imagine if I didn't have that event at my disposal to use. The belief. Well, we're giving you a piece of that when you come to the Unite event. You're going to have belief building. You're going to get inspired. If you're not inspired, you need to come. If you feel like you don't need to come, then you really need to come to the event, because you can't do anything great without inspiration. You're going to be motivated, collecting stories. You're going to learn tips and activities and different action plans that you can take to maximize your profitability, your sales skills, your leadership skills. You're going to build competency with your product line. Where there's competency, there's confidence. Where there's confidence, there's success. So there's so many amazing things. And here's the thing about knowledge. Knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice. I can't remember who said it. Many of you who already know me and a little bit about my story, you know I love to read. And somebody said, the person who doesn't read is no better off than the person who can't read. Well, that's how I feel about knowledge. If you have it and you're not using it, you're no better off than the person who doesn't know anything about it. And so we go to these events to create the knowledge information, the ability to come home and actually put into action the things that we want. This is what I love about events too, is it helps you grow in value as a person. See, Organo's not just about building a business. We're about building people. And guess what? People who are doing great build great businesses. People who feel good do good. So we're not about using people to build the business. We're building people, and we know that if we build people, we build their beliefs, their confidence, their leadership skills, that the business will grow, and we're putting people first as the priority. And I love that about the Organo philosophy. There's a lot of companies that don't have that. And here you see it says, if your presence doesn't add value, then your absence won't make a difference. When I first started this business, my presence didn't add any value, and it hurt to realize that if I left, nobody would notice. And I didn't want to be so insignificant. So I dedicated myself to becoming better. And you don't have to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. Just don't stay bad for very long. Like Jim Rohn said, you're not a tree, move. And so become someone of such value that if you're not there, people will notice. You know what I'm saying? And Henry Ford, you know, he's definitely a forward thinker, visionary thinker, just in his time did a lot of great things. And he said, if it doesn't add value, it's a waste. What are you doing on those 2 days that are going to add the kind of value to your life that you could get from Unite, right? So I encourage you to go. I'm not begging you to go. I don't beg anyone to do anything. But my goal tonight is to show you the value of why you should be there. You deserve it. If you knew the answers to living the life of your dreams were in Florida, would you go? Well, guess what? If you believe the answers are in Florida at the Unite convention, you're going to get them. Why? Because what you're looking for is looking for you. That's not woo-woo voodoo nonsense. That's physics, right? It's physics. Like attracts like. So let's talk about, as we transition a little bit away from events and the power of events and being at Unite. I can't wait. Steve and Deanna and I will be there. We're going to be at the OG Getaway before the event starts. And then we're going to be up in Orlando, just fired up and ready for the vision to learn some of the things that have been going on in Organo and be able to deliver that information for you. So this book, 10 Powerful Phrases for Positive People. Platinums down in Denver, Jeff and Jackie Gilbert, they actually gave me this book. They brought a couple books to a meeting before I was going to be speaking at a meeting, and they had a bunch of books on the table, and they said, if you see anything you like, take it. That's like, that was crazy because I'm addicted to books, so I went a little nuts and I took more than one. But this one I've actually read twice this year already, and it's 10 Powerful Phrases for Positive People by Richard DeVos. And the reason I was intrigued to read this book is because Rich DeVos was the co-founder of Amway. At the time of his death, they say his net worth was somewhere over $5.2, $5.3 billion. And, you know, he's kind of the forefather of, you know, like we think of our forefathers as the forefathers of democracy. Well, Rich DeVos was kind of the forefather of network marketing and establishing, for sure when it comes to establishing its legitimacy here in the United States and on a global level. And these are powerful phrases for positive people. So let's start with positivity first, right? Positivity is an attitude, and it's something that you can develop. You know, I used to think that some people were just positive and some people were just negative, but I realized that positivity is a choice, and that doesn't mean that everything's easy, and it doesn't mean that everything's perfect, and it doesn't mean that everything goes your way. It simply means that positivity is a choice, and it's a choice that can help you build a great life. Negative people, or people who find the negativity in everything, they have a really hard time winning in their own business. And on the rare occasion that some of them win, because there's a couple people that are just, their work ethic is so insane that they're negative, but they can still win, they're not happy. Now we're talking about building the whole person. I'm talking about wealth, meaning you have a wealth of happiness and contribution. You have a wealth of joy and love in relationships. You have a wealth of finances and money, so you can live life on your own terms. You can contribute financially where you want to. You can have all the nice things that you want to have. I'm talking about wealth being in your house, of being in control of your emotions and your mind. So when we're talking about 10 phrases for positive people, I'm going to go through these 10 phrases with you. I'm going to explain them a little bit. And what I'd like you to do is, if one of these phrases really jumps out at you, I want you to take immediate action on that phrase. But what I also want you to do is write all 10 of them down. If you're not a note taker, that's fine. This will be recorded. It'll be on OG Academy social media pages, so you can go click on it and watch again to take notes. But I want you to write down all 10 phrases. And between now and Unite, I want you to find a way to use all 10 in your life, because we are going to work together practicing positivity. We practice everything else. Why not practice being positive? It's a mentality, it's an attitude. And so we're going to practice staying focused on the positivity. So let's start with the first one. I'm wrong. Now we're going to start with this one, this phrase. And I believe he started with this one because I think it's the hardest of the 10 to accomplish, because so many people view admitting the admittance of being wrong or of wrongdoing, they view it as a weakness. But I am here to tell you, especially if you're a leader, and by being a leader, if you're a parent, you're a leader, you're leading your children. If you're a spouse, you have a partner, you're leading that person just like they're leading you. You're adding value and contribution, and you're going in a direction together. Even if you're going nowhere, that's still a direction, right? So admitting when you're wrong, it's powerful. And here's the thing, it inspires other people because it takes the bite out of a situation. It takes the pain out of a situation, and it minimizes it. You know why? Because everyone makes mistakes. People who are like, oh, I'm first of all, nobody loves a know-it-all. We love people who know a lot of things, but not a know-it-all. There's a difference, right? It gives people permission when you're willing to admit when you do something wrong to be human. Most people are so afraid to make a mistake because God forbid they ever have to admit that they were wrong, that they don't do anything. So if you create a culture where you're leading by example and you can admit when you're wrong, it's a beautiful thing. So when you look at saying I'm wrong, if you're wrong in the situation or you've been wrong in the past, it creates this environment and this atmosphere of humility. And I don't know about you, but all the leaders that I truly admire, the ones that I truly love, that I use the word leader and I mean it, like deep down from my heart, there's humility and leadership go hand in hand. Because I think that to truly love and care and serve about other people, that there's got to be a little bit of humility that goes along with that. So is there somebody in your life that you're so defensive and you're so holding on and you're so destined to be right and determined to be right that maybe you could actually create healing in a relationship just by saying, hey, you know, I was wrong, you were right? It's powerful. It's powerful. Tell other people when they're right. Be willing to admit when you're wrong. I have been wrong before. Yes, my family, if you're listening, I've been wrong before on so many occasions. And sometimes I just gotta, you know, bite down my pride and ego, which is really what's standing in the way from saying this, and go, you know what? You were right. I was wrong. And it creates this openness for true communication. And where there's true communication, you can create great things. You know, you can even do this with prospects. Maybe you were brand new and you were so excited and you picked up your phone and you were like, hey, you answered the phone and blah, 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 you know, blah, 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 Organo, blah, 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 I'll give you $1,300, blah, 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 and you just threw up so much information. We've all done it. Maybe that prospect, you feel like they were ruined, but maybe you can go back and say, let's say I did that to someone named Sarah. I could literally pick up the phone and say, hey, Sarah, it's Casey. I'm not calling because I need anything. I just wanted to call and say that I was wrong to call you the way that I did. You know what? With all due sincerity, I was so excited that I got a little ahead of myself and I just threw up information on you, and I've been thinking about it, and I never even asked you how you were, and I never asked you how the family was, and that's really, this relationship is super important to me. So I just wanted to say, you know what? I'm sorry for kind of jumping on you like that. I'd love to revisit that at some time, but let me ask now what I didn't ask then. How are you? What's new? What's going on? Because remember, it's about them first and you next. It's not about you first. It's about them first. And so you can do that. Matter of fact, there's a part in the book where this is what he says. He says, I am wrong is a powerful phrase for positive people because it can wash away the pain of strained relationships, move a negotiation forward, end an argument, start a healing process, and turn enemies into friends. It can be a risk for people. Admittedly, admitting you're wrong can be a threat to your authority and credibility and stature. But most things worth having in life are worth risk. I'm like, wow, you can heal relationships, end an argument, move a negotiation forward, turn an enemy into a friend. Those are some pretty powerful things. He goes on to say, I can no longer imagine jeopardizing my relationships with my family, friends, and coworkers because I'm too afraid or too stubborn or threatened to say, I'm wrong, you're right, I'm sorry, let's move forward. It's a powerful statement, guys, a powerful statement. So maybe that resonates with you. If it feels right, or if it's bothering you because you know you need to do it, on a piece of paper, that's one of your action notes. Okay, this person that I did wrong, you know, be willing to admit it. I'm sorry, and I'm wrong kind of go hand in hand, don't they? They go hand in hand a little bit. And being willing to say I'm sorry, it creates this movement, it creates this pattern and rhythm in relationships of give and take. It allows people to be imperfect. It creates a safe place for mistakes. You cannot, Robert Kiyosaki talks about this all the time. His biggest problem with formal education is it scares people to death of making a mistake. And the reality is you're gonna make mistakes. Hopefully we don't keep making the same ones twice. I've made mistakes. I've had to say I'm sorry. I've had to say I'm sorry to people in my team. I've had to apologize to my partners, Stephen and Deanna, my parents, when I was slacking off, or when I did something that maybe jeopardized, I said something or did something or didn't do something that could have caused potential harm in our business, and I've had to apologize. It doesn't feel, I don't want to say it doesn't feel good, because at first it doesn't. Like, you got to swallow some pride, right? Swallow some ego. I tend to be a perfectionist, so it's hard for me, but I realize most of us are, and it's hard for you too. But once you say it, it's liberating. Instead of storing all that inside, it's like, hey, I'm sorry. Nothing feels quite as good as taking personal responsibility or ownership, because then you can own your whole life. If you take extreme ownership, there's a great book out there Leaf something or other, Navy SEAL. He talks about extreme ownership. It's a good read. And he talks about extreme ownership doesn't mean owning the good things. Like, sure, it's easy to own, I went diamond. It's easy to own, I got a new gold pack. It's easy to own, the money I'm making is all my fault. But a lot of times people want to own all the good stuff and blame someone else for the bad stuff. But when you are willing to admit that you're sorry, and I'm sorry is kind of a way of asking for forgiveness. It's not about whether the other person actually forgives you. It's about genuinely working, practicing towards meaning it. Practicing towards meaning it. And it creates this extreme ownership in your life where you're responsible. You're responsible for your life. Well, thank God you wouldn't want anybody else to be responsible, right? There's some people out there that you better pray are not responsible for your life. But if you're willing to take ownership, and I'm sorry isn't always about admitting a wrongdoing. I'm sorry creates empathy. Empathy creates community, compassion, connection. If you know somebody's going through a hard time, you can tell them, hey, I'm sorry you're going through this hard time. I'm sorry about the loss of a loved one. I'm sorry that you lost your job. I'm sorry that you're having a hard time with your spouse right now. I'm sorry. It creates empathy and connection. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be your fault. You can say, I'm sorry you didn't hit your goals, but I've got you. Let's do this together. And it creates a good line of communication. The next phrase, you can do it. I love this one. This is what network marketing is made for. This is what Organo is made for. You can do it. Our products are made for your health, for your wellness, for your lifestyle, for your joy, for your experience. But this business model is made for your freedom. You can do it. You can live life on your own terms. You can survive the current challenge you're experiencing. You can overcome the obstacle and the struggle. You can do it. This isn't just something you say to other people, although you should say it to other people. We can uplift each other with words. You should say this to yourself. You look in the mirror and you say, you can do it. I can do it. I'm terrified to speak. You can do it. I'm terrified to prospect. You can do it. Oh my God, I'm afraid of rejection. It's okay. You can do it. And you can, there's this, many of you know I love the power of words, and there's a very, very old word, one of the oldest words they can pinpoint back as one of like the original words, and it's abracadabra. Believe it or not, it means as I speak, I create. So when you're speaking to people, you're actually speaking life. There is an energy in your words. To prove to you there's an energy in your words, you can hear my voice. You can hear that because of the energy created, we call it sound, and it's going to be connecting from my vocal cords to your auditory experience, right? So you can do it. You're literally speaking life into people. Think of your babies. When you have a little kid and they start walking and they tumble over, you're not like, oh man, that one's not going to walk. Let's try again. Time for another baby. No, you're like, you can do it. And you cheer them on and you clap more for a baby learning how to walk, which you know is inevitable because eventually they all get up and start walking, or they all get up and you can do it. Say mommy, say daddy, say please. We give this incredible encouragement to this little kid who's going to learn it with or without our encouragement, because they're these giant mimics that are constantly intaking and downloading information. And then you become an adult and you stop doing it to yourself. Be your best cheerleader. Be your people's cheerleader. I'm not saying be so positive that you don't take care of other things that are coming by, but you can put a positive spin on anything. And you want to embrace the you can do it attitude. You can do it is the spirit of free enterprise. It's what allows us to go out there and deliver hope that you don't have to stay stuck. This is, Organo says you can do it. You don't have to struggle with your finances. You don't have to be depressed because you're making no contribution and you don't feel like you're of any value. We have a place for you and you can do it. It's not always going to be easy. Matter of fact, in the beginning, it's not easy. Everybody starts at the bottom. How cool is that? Everybody starts the same. With zero on their left, zero on their right, and the option to buy a bronze, silver, gold pack or become a wholesaler. This is what's so beautiful about the business. You can do it. Go for it. Go for it. This attitude should be a defining phrase. If this needs to be your mantra, no matter what you're undertaking, you can do it. You need to lose some weight. You need to You need to start eating healthier. You can do it. You need to go be a little less shy and get out there and go meet people, go be genuinely interested in them and curious about their life. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Powerful phrase. Who can you say that to? Maybe it's your kid, your spouse, a coworker. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe it's an employee that works for you. Maybe it's someone at church. Maybe it's somebody at a charitable contribution community event. You can help people by telling them this. Remember, we're writing all these phrases down and we want to use all of them before convention at the Unite event. I believe in you. Jim Valvano, many of you know him as Jimmy V. He was a basketball player. He said, my father gave me the greatest gift anyone could give another person. He believed in me. I'm here to tell you right now, without a lot of people believing in me, I would not be who I am today. I would not be sitting in front of you. I'm fortunate to have two amazing parents. I hit the jackpot. I feel like I won the DNA lottery with Stephen and Deanna, and they believe in me. But you know, there's a lot of other people out there believing in me too. My sister believes in me. My husband believes in me. I have friends that uplift me and believe in me. And when you have people who believe in you, you can accomplish great things. Now, the first person who has to believe in you is yourself. You've got to believe in you. And if you're low on that, like if you're like a gas tank and you're a little low on the believe in you fuel, start believing in other people. It's incredible that what you give, you get. And so that's why in our relationships, if you're looking for more love, more affection, more whatever, give first, seek first to give and then to get. It works the same with belief. Believe in Organo. Believe in your people. Believe in your plugged in upline. Believe in you and your dream. Believe in your vision. Believe in the desire you have for your life. But when you believe in people, share it with them. Tell them you believe in them. Tell them you believe in them. I love this. I have two nephews and I love telling Jackson, the older one, he's 7. And I believe in you, buddy. You can do it. And he's got this way about him that you can tell he's just been surrounded by so much love and support that he's like, I want to be special. So I'll tell you a little story. He's so sweet. Jackson's actually allergic to chocolate. So he can't eat chocolate. And the other day he was talking to my mom and he was like, you know what, Grammy, I figured out why I'm allergic to chocolate. She's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I figured out why I'm allergic to chocolate. God wanted to make me special and he wanted me to be different. So everybody else can have chocolate, like baby Steven, he loves the hot chocolate, he can have that, but I can't have chocolate because I'm so special. Talk about a great perspective on life. And guys, you can do that for your children. You can do that for each other. Maybe your spouse is working really hard and they're trying to support you in Organo and it's just not quite giving you the support that you want. Maybe take a step back and have you been believing in them? Have you been uplifting them? Have you been appreciating them for going to work and working hard? And maybe they're going through a hard time at work and you just say, you know what, honey, I believe in you. You've got this. You've got this. I know you can do it. I appreciate you. That goes a long way in our relationships. What I love about I believe in you is it's more personal than you can do it. You can do it. It's a great mantra. I believe in you. It does something inside of you. When people believe in me, I don't want to let them down. I want to prove them right. You were right to believe in me. You were right to bet on me. I'm going to make it work. And it brings out the best in your spirit, in the human spirit, and the will to push through, the will to win. And you'll be so much better for it. Let your people know. It's a sign of leadership. Believe in your people and tell them, show them that you believe in them. You know, I look at what he says here. Rich DeVos says, I believe one of the most powerful forces in the world is the will of people who believe in themselves, who dare to aim high, to go confidently after the things that they want from life. Here's somebody who he started in the 1940s in network marketing, became a multi-billionaire as the owner and founder of a company. And he said one of the most powerful forces in the world is a group of people who believe in themselves. That's why we're going to unite, to grow our belief together, to build our belief in each other, in the company, in the product, so we can go out and share that belief and duplicate that belief with the world. He said he believed in free enterprise so much because we believe people are worthy that people want to work and they want to get ahead. I believe that too. I believe believing in people. You have to believe in believing. There's a great book out there called The Magic of Believing. There's a great audio out there by Earl Nightingale called The Strangest Secret in the World. All of these things contribute to your belief when you let them in to your mind and down into your heart. But let somebody you love and care about, let them know you believe in them. Maybe you have a friend shooting for a promotion at work. Maybe you have a customer who needs to hear that. And belief is a currency that's way more important than money. You know, money is just one form of energetic currency. Belief is another, and I'm willing to bet it's even more valuable. The next phrase that we have here from positive people, phrases that positive people learn. But just remember, this guy made his net worth's over $5 billion. He's left an incredible legacy, and these are 10 things that he believed added incredible value to his life. So pick a couple of them and practice. I'm going to commit to using all 10 between now and the Unite event. I hope you do too. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you has to do with recognition. It has to do with being acknowledged, and it shouldn't always be done in private. It's okay to let people know that you're proud of someone else for other people to hear. There is a human need. There is a biological need for recognition. And that's one of the things I love most about Organa, when people get on stage and we recognize our star achievers and we recognize our sapphires, our leaders, our top recruiters, our leaders. We recognize people because this is something that we know is a huge part of the biological human need to feel fulfilled. And think about it. People want to be acknowledged when they're doing something. Look at me. And what I mean by that is, how many of you have kids and they're doing something and they're like, Mom, look at me. Watch me. Dad, watch. Pay attention. Grammy, make sure you're watching. Watch me. Are you watching? Are you looking? I'm here. Do you see me and what I'm doing? They're saying, watch me says, love me, acknowledge me, show me you're proud of me. And that when you let people know you're proud of them, it's energizing to them. You're adding value. You're giving something so valuable to them when you tell them you're proud of them. Maybe your spouse has been working really hard and you just need to say, you know, and I'm using this example that can be used in anything. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for working so hard. I'm proud of you for getting up early, and I'm proud of you for handling this work week. Even though it was a hard week, I'm proud of you for the way that you handled it. You know, you tell your kids, I'm proud of you. I know that you're struggling with reading, or I know that you're struggling with math, but I'm proud of the effort you're putting in. It doesn't always have to be about achievement. You could be proud of effort. And it's like, wow, they notice that I'm trying, that I'm doing better. I am 30 years old. Just the other day, my mom and I were having a conversation, and she said, you know what? I'm really proud of you. And it was like, oh, it makes me want to go be better and do more. Because here's the thing, when you see people as they are, they get worse. When you see them as they can be, they get better. We create this energy together and these self-fulfilling philosophies and relationships. When we add value to other people, they grow. It's kind of like fertilizer or watering a plant. If you don't nurture your plant, it dies. If you don't nurture your dream, if you don't nurture your people, they die. Their dream just shrivels up. And so I'm proud of you is so huge, and you're going to see some recognition and be part of the celebration of that recognition at Unite. One of the other ways that you can say I'm proud of you, it's a practice I've undertaken in like the last 6 to 8 months, really the last 6 months, since about February, is writing thank you cards. Actually writing a card on a piece of paper. Here's some in my office. Here's some of my thank you cards right here. You actually write them out and mail them, and the feeling people get. I have a friend of mine who's in network marketing, and he's in another company, and he achieved a major milestone financially of accumulative earnings. And I saw the achievement on Facebook. I messaged him for his address. I just said, hey, I'm updating my contacts. Can I get your address? And I sent him a handwritten note just congratulating him, telling him I was so proud of his wife's accomplishment and the grace that they build. They're good for the industry, and I just appreciate, having them in my life. They sent me the nicest message. They were like, you'll never know how much that meant to us to know that you were celebrating with us. It took me 2 minutes to add that kind of value to someone else's life. Who can you send an I'm proud of you card or an I'm thankful thank you card to somebody in your life. Tell your kids, tell your spouse, tell your partners, tell your employees, tell your boss if you love where you work, you know, hey, I'm proud of you for creating an environment where I love to be here to work. Or if you have employees, hey guys, I'm proud of you for coming in, you know, every day and working hard. We appreciate it. It goes so far. People will surprise you with the simple things that they actually want and need. It's not the big things in relationships and things like that. It's the little things. And so just think, if some of the things I'm talking about right now, if politicians did it, imagine how much progress on great things we could make in the world if politicians were willing to get together and say, you know, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Let's move forward. Because both sides of the aisle have value. They both have merit, but they're so busy arguing that they're not accomplishing. Well, we have this internal dialogue as well. And it's easy to look at a politician and say, well, the Democrats should do that. Well, the Republicans should do that. Like, wow, what could they accomplish if they actually did these 10 phrases and lived them in their life? Even if they didn't compromise on their position, what they could accomplish because they're collaborating, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Well, it's pretty easy to look at politicians and see what they're doing wrong. But when was the last time you had a highly valuable, loving, compassionate, forgiving conversation with some of your more difficult family members? And you're like, oh, politicians should be getting it right. And we can't even get it right with our own friends and family, but it's easy to judge them, right? So we look first at ourselves and say, okay, Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Forget about what they're doing. I can't control that at the moment. What I can control is I'm going to be more compassionate. I'm going to be more empathetic. Thank you. And thank you cards is huge. Gratitude is the birthplace of miracles. Gratitude, I can't even begin to tell you, it's one of the most beautiful magnetic energies you can put out into the world to attract other things to yourself. And you can be grateful for so many things. I've had conversations over the years with some of our team members, and when they get in a rut or they get stuck, and I'll say, listen, your homework is to make a list of 100 things that you're grateful for. And at first, sometimes it's hard for people. But once you get on a roll, it's like, wow, I'm grateful I can hear. I'm grateful I live in a democracy. I'm grateful I can see. I'm grateful I can touch and experience. I'm grateful that I have friends and family. I'm grateful for whatever it is. There's so many things you can be grateful for. I'm grateful for this cup. So I'm drinking out of a cup instead of a styrofoam glass. I'm grateful for Organo and Bernie and Paul and so many amazing people. I'm grateful for them. Well, appreciation and gratitude are awesome, and you need to say it. Don't keep your thank yous and appreciation a secret. I'll tell you a quick story about my husband as we wrap up. He owns his own business, and he contracts out his services. And on all of his invoice, I just found this out today because we were talking this morning or this afternoon, and I was like, you know, we're always talking about how grateful we are. What are you grateful for? What are you most excited about the future? What are the things going right in our life? And we're constantly reframing and putting a good perspective on things in our life. Because I learned years ago from Bob Proctor, he said most people put out bad energy when they pay their bills. So anytime I write a check, anytime I pay a bill, in the memo line, I write thank you with an exclamation point, and I try to feel it. Sometimes it's harder than others, but I try to feel it. He said most people, they put out this horrible energy. Oh, I'm broke, I can't afford it, I don't want to pay it, they're taking advantage of me, blah, 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 blah. He said, don't do that. Put good energy out there and you'll never have to worry about debt. I've been doing that for 7 years and it's worked really well for me. Well, my husband told me today, he's like, yeah, one of the people I contract with called me to check on me and make sure I was okay. And I was like, why? What's wrong? And he goes, well, I don't know if you know this, but since I started my company 2 years ago, on all of my invoices, I sign the memo, thank you for this opportunity. He goes, and that's just something that I do. He said, and I don't even necessarily notice that I do it. It's just such a part of who I am now. I'm just thankful because I'm grateful for this opportunity. He goes, well, apparently last week, one of the invoices I sent in, I forgot to sign it. Thank you for this opportunity. And people in the office actually called their manager and said, will you please reach out to Cole and make sure he's okay? Did we do something wrong? Is he all right? What can we do to take care of him? We appreciate him. We value him. And he was like, no, man, I'm good. I'm not upset. And he's like, well, you forgot to put thank you for this opportunity on the memo. And the people in the office were all like, oh my God, what's wrong? And I was like, how cool is that, right? To create gratitude in such a way where your customers, send a customer a thank you note. Thank you for being a customer of mine for the last year. Thank you for being my first customer and trusting me to deliver the great value. Gratitude, I could do a whole call on gratitude. Give your thank you. I need you. Now, this is an interesting one because it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tell somebody, Bob, I need you. Sue, I need you. Dan, I need you. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But we rely on other people a lot in our lives. And I think I need you and gratitude kind of go hand in hand. I need you. I needed my parents to believe in me. I needed them when I was 14 and I got sick and I had no idea how to handle it. I needed them. And sometimes it's easier to look back, and you can even write a note to a friend and say, hey, you know, last month when I was having a hard time, thank you for being there when I needed you. People love to feel needed. I love to feel needed. I love that Organo needs me. Organo needs you. We need you and your story and your success and your freedom. We need you. Organo needs you. Feels good to be needed. So let people know when you need them. You know, Rich DeVos says in the book, he says he met a gentleman while he was on vacation staying at this little cottage resort, and the guy was picking up trash. And he just noticed that he was always on time. He always had a smile on his face. So one day he went out to meet him and he said, hey, I just want to thank you. You're doing such a nice job and we really need you around here. You know, the next time he saw that same garbage man, the guy who was picking up the garbage the following week, he said, I just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging me. I've been picking up garbage for 12 years and you're the first person who's ever recognized the good that I was doing. Like, can you imagine what would happen if we didn't have a system for people to come pick up garbage? The whole world would get ugly. Like, it's incredible. And imagine 12 years with nobody acknowledging that service was needed. I need you. It's a powerful service. And Organo needs you. I trust you. I trust you. It's foundational. Trust is foundational for everything. Think about it. Your marriage, gotta have trust. Driving, you gotta have trust. You know how much trust I give strangers every day? You give strangers in your life more trust than you give Organo, its products, its business, its leadership, its proven results. Yourself. Do you trust yourself? I trust when I get on the road that everybody else is going to stay in their lane and do what they're supposed to do. When I get on an airplane, I trust the pilot whom I've never met. There's trust everywhere. So I trust you is important. And this is more, again, this is one of those phrases that's more of something you put into action, showing people that you trust them, that you believe in them. Can you see how they all go hand in hand to living a really good life? Your bank, you trust your bank when you give them money that you can get the money back, right? Trust is very attractive and it allows for momentum to be created. We have the IBM trust. That's a new thing. Guess what? Come to unite to learn from the best of the best what that actually means for you and how much value and transparency that actually adds. Because here's the thing, everybody wants this sales skill and this sales skill. Trust, if you can create trust, you can sell something. Trust is huge in sales, whether you're selling coffee, travel, or the dream of living a free life. Trust comes from honesty, transparency. You know, I'll give you an example. I would not be in Organo if it wasn't for trust. My dad, years ago, when we were, I would say, broke, we were still living in Albuquerque at the time, there was no money, there was no extra money. Like 10 cents in the checking account at the end of the month was like, woohoo, there's at least 10 cents in there. And I can remember I was 6 years old. It was summertime, I was wearing shorts. I can remember my hand, my little hand in my dad's big, rough, calloused hand. He's a hardworking man. As we're walking through the store, we're at Walmart, Target, and he bought a few things, not much, was doing some yard work. We're driving home and he realizes that there are 2 bags of seeds, like probably tomato seeds or jalapeno seeds or something for planting, that are in his bag, and he realizes on the receipt he wasn't charged for them. It's probably about 50 cents worth of stuff. And still to this day, I can remember sitting in that front bench seat truck of his, the old truck we had. I can remember him turning around and going back to the store, walking in and having the lady charge him for those 2 bags of seeds because he didn't want to take anything that wasn't his. And I can remember that. I'm 30. I was 6 years old. I can remember him, the lesson he taught me in the honesty. Talk about trust. Because if you can trust a man with 60 cents that wasn't his, you can trust a man with 60 million. So when he got involved in Organo and he said, I'm doing it, I believe in it, I'm like, I don't know OG, but I know you, I trust you, we can do this together. It's pretty powerful. I respect you. I respect you. This is really powerful. Value everyone. You earn respect by showing respect. Be a respecter of persons. The best ways to show respect is to listen and to remember somebody's name. You're probably going to have to practice doing both of those things. Listen and remember somebody's name. If you have trust and respect, you've got this one and this one, you can create a successful business. You can create a successful business. And the last one, I love you. Gosh, I love you. It feels so good. All of you that are listening, I love you. And I love your contribution to Organo. And I love your contribution to your families and your growth and your willingness to go through the obstacles, to find a way around the struggles and win. There's love. There's so many different types of love between business partners and friends and associates and parents and romantic partners. But don't keep that love to yourself. Whether you got to say love ya or love you. I've got Miss Fidelia Muniz on the team, and I love when she texts me or calls me, because whether she's asking for encouragement, she's sharing a success story, she's telling me a party she just did or money she just made, she always ends with, I love you, my dear. And I can feel it. I know she means it. And guess what? When you embody these 10 powerful things, people want to be around you. Well, we're in the people business. Don't you think it's good for business if people like you and want to be around you? Now, they don't have to like me, but my goal is to add such value and love and contribution that we can get there together. We can create that value. I love Organo. I love our products. I love our mission. I love the growth. I love the times I've been wrong when I've been like, well, that doesn't seem like the right call. And then it turns out to be this amazing thing. So which of these things can you enact in your life right now to create massive success? It's all about your attitude. Napoleon Hill says more gold has been mined from the mind of man than the earth itself. You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. A positive mind finds a way that it can be done, while a negative mind looks for all the ways it can't be done. Guys, this is powerful. Life is a game board. Time is your opponent. If you procrastinate on these things you've just learned, you're going to lose that game. Make a move. You'll be victorious. Don't wait. The time will never be just right. I'm talking about unite. Don't wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand right now and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will come along as you go. I want to end with this, because we're leading an army. And Alexander the Great said, I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep, but I would be afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. And the Organo Lions were headed to unite. We're headed to Florida. Let's unite in Florida together on this mission of positivity and a better attitude and contribution. And let's go get more out of this weekend in Unite than anyone else. And let's go explode this ecosystem of Organo to continue to add an incredible collaborative value of love and gratitude and progress and personal development and a safe place to make mistakes and be yourself and grow. That's Organo. So let's unite in Florida. We'll see you there.